Hey, what's going on YouTube? PB the Fox here with the Ravnica Historical Society, coming back with another video today. And before we get started, we're going to talk about the results of the $5,000 Insight Historic Open. So we'll touch on this briefly. There was a good discussion on Reddit. I've actually got it up over here. I was the first one to post the results because I waited like 12 hours and nobody did it. So some conversation here, a lot of talk about Brainstorm. Just right out of the gate, I think it's time for Brainstorm to go. It's by far the best thing you can be doing in the format right now, and nothing else even comes close. I actually had the comment here. So I said in one of the longer conversations, I think it's alarming that there are only 2 decks playing green in the top 32 if you don't count the 5-color Niv Mizzet decks, because they play like one green spell that's green-black. Saying that 3 of the top 4 decks aren't running Brainstorm sounds nice, but that's mostly because 3 tier 2 decks spiked this event. So if you look at the top 4, Aura's won, which hooray for us, right? I actually played an Aura's Mirror today for the first time in like months because people are back on Auras. That's funny. But we had Auras, Phoenix, Mono Black, and Mono Red. And then, so somebody was like, look at the top 4 decks. So many archetypes are represented. And I'm like, yeah, but look at the rest of the tournament. Izzet combo, which if you don't know, there's a combo with Locust Guide and Sage of the, or Locust God, sorry, and Sage of the Falls, which this one says whenever you draw a card, you make a 1/1 insect with flying and haste. And this says whenever another non-human creature enters the battlefield, you may draw and discard. So the loop here is you draw a card, you make an insect. Then you make an insect, so you draw a card and discard a card. Then that triggers the draw on this, so you draw another card. Then that makes an insect, which triggers this, which makes you draw and discard, which triggers back and forth until you have enough flying insects to kill your opponent. Unless they're on like the life gain deck or something, then things start to get a little weird because you can only make as many cards, or you can only make as many insects as you can draw cards out of your deck. But then you've got the Indomitable Creativity package with do they play? Yep, they play Dwarven Mine, Prismari Command, and Shark Typhoon to make tokens to kill with Indomitable Creativity and Mizzet's Mastery to get the Locust God back out. Also Magma Opus, right? So it's the Magma Opus, Mizzet's Mastery, Indomitable Creativity package that we're seeing in control decks and now this combo deck. And then just some other stuff. You guys can check out the deck. I'll leave links in the description below. But that combo deck showed up pretty well. Jim Davis had this Teamer combo list, which was a little bit different. He's got Coma as his top end, and he's playing Indomitable Creativity, Mizzet's Mastery, Magma Opus, Prismari Command, Shark Typhoon, blah, 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 the Dwarven Mine. It's the same concept, right? Get a token, kill it with Indomitable Creativity, flip Coma, and Coma is, I guess, what they decided was the best creature right now. It can't be countered, which is cool, this deck. It's basically a red-blue deck, but it does have, what's the Triome? It's got, not that Triome, Ketria Triome. It's playing these to make green mana, so you can hard cast Coma. I saw it happen. I was watching Jim on Twitch over the weekend on and off. So he ended up top 8ing with that deck, which is pretty cool. But then once we get out of the top 8, we just see Izzet combo, Izzet Phoenix, 4-color Niv, Teamer combo, Jeskai Cycling, which this was like another weird deck that it's like a Flourishing Fox build. Give it a look if you want. Very similar to the standard deck. It's just pretty cool that somebody almost top 8'd with it. They went 6-2. It's kind of neat. Phoenix, Jeskai Control, Phoenix, Jeff Hoogland took like a white-black dead guy ale list into 18th place at 5-3, so meh. Probably not a great deck to recommend, but if that's your thing, I don't think it was a Death Shadow list. It's not. It's just black-white aggro. Jeskai Control, Phoenix, a Selesnya Company list, Phoenix, 5-color Niv Mizzet, Teamer Control, and then the last few decks are Phoenix, Mono Black Ramp, which is like, we've got Ugin and Karn and Golos and Ulamog and some weird stuff going on over here. That's a 5-3 list, so somebody just having a good day on that deck. Phoenix, blue-green aggro deck, kind of like the one that, what's his name? Brad Nelson posted a few weeks ago. That's like 2 months ago now. Another Auras list, Phoenix, Jeskai Control. So I did the math, and 20, let's see, so blah, 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 3 tier 2 archetypes spiked the event. Mono Black, Mono Red, and Auras didn't do particularly well in the event, and I will still say that Blue-White Auras is not that great of a deck. I definitely can't recommend, like, if you want to play a Tier 1 deck, that's not the deck you should be playing, even though it won the event. Sometimes the deck just folds in on itself too often for it to be, like, a true Tier 1. Mono Black is pretty good, but it's not perfect, and Mono Red is just, like, lacking. It's Somehow the mono red deck is too slow for the format, which makes absolutely no sense. So surprisingly, Zanside went Outtro drop with mono black, and he's a huge proponent. He says it's the best deck to climb the ladder with, although that might have changed a little bit recently. But yeah, if we zoom out from the top 4, we see that 20 of the top 32 decks are playing Brainstorm, and they're almost all blue-red archetypes. In fact, I think they are all blue-red archetypes. This tells me that Historic very desperately needs some green and white cards that focus on creatures and supporting creature strategies. I said, honestly, Giver of Runes might be fine, possibly even Aether Vial. Blah, blah, blah. And then somebody asked me something else about it, and I gave just like a list of cards that I think would be pretty good in the format. I don't know where that got buried. Here we go. So somebody said, like, another thing I'm talking about, right? Since this is a... Wait, what? How do we get on that topic? Oh, yeah, so we're talking about it's a digital format. They should either ban Brainstorm or just add some cards, right? So what cards could they even print that would magically solve the Brainstorm problem? So I said since the digital format, they can just release new digital products. Historic anthologies have been historically weak, so WotC could start there. All they require is the coding of 25 cards and some relatively easy marketing and promotional stuff. So, like, you design... Let's go back to the game here. You design this thing, right? Where is it? Right, which this is just the art of the Magic cards. But, right, they Photoshop out the Praetor, blow it up a little bit. They took the art for Ojutai's Command, and, like, that's the promotional art for Historic Anthology 5. You could do this in an afternoon. Now, whether or not they actually have the people on the team to get that done in an afternoon, I highly doubt it, but that's their issue of not sinking money into the game. Whatever. So somebody asked, what card specifically do I think could fix the issue of talking about Brainstorm and the problem with Brainstorm? So just I said Noble Hierarch, Ignoble Hierarch, Tireless Tracker, Giver of Runes, Stoneforge Mystic, Vial, Monastery Swiftspear, Goblin Guide. I said, for example, it's just wrong that the control combo decks are dominating the metagame right now, and the format doesn't have the tools to build an aggro deck that can compete with them, like Mono Red. Like, it's not even close. Modern has the check of red, white, burn. If you go too slow in the interest of power, the red deck will burn you out before you can get the wheels going. But right now, the control decks can hold off an aggressive start and then close out the game before an aggro deck has any hopes of drawing back into the game. Some of the cards I listed can be dangerous when paired with Brainstorm, especially Stoneforge Mystic, but some of them just help deal with the fact that your opponent will have good cards all the time by either giving you good cards or denying them time to use their good cards. Which gets me to, like, the crux of my argument here, why Brainstorm needs to go. Because Brainstorm, the card, creates this, I don't know what you would call it, a dynamic in the format, I guess, where the player playing Brainstorm is consistently ahead on card quality. By being able to Brainstorm and then use your Fabled Passage and then cast another Brainstorm, and then especially with the blue-red decks casting Iteration, Expressive Iteration, between this card and Brainstorm, your opponent always has good cards, even in Game 1. They can build their deck where they have 3 Anger of the Gods in it, and if they don't need Anger of the Gods, they're just gone. They can exile it, they can put it on the bottom of their library, whatever they... Well, you don't usually exile it, but they can put it on the bottom of their library, they can shuffle it away with Brainstorm, they can get rid of the dead cards and always have good cards for the matchup. And then, once you sideboard, this makes their deck even worse, because then they're always hitting the sideboard cards, while any non-Brainstorm deck just has to dig, right? You just have to draw cards and hope that you hit one eventually. You're not burning through like 15 cards off the top of your library and shuffling the bad ones away, and things just get nasty. So, with all of that having been said, the problem right now is that if you're not playing a Brainstorm deck, your card quality is just lower on average than your opponents who are playing Brainstorm. So you need a good reason not to play Brainstorm, a lot like in Legacy. Every deck plays Brainstorm, some decks don't play Brainstorm, but they have really good reasons not to do it. Either they're on a combo, or they're going really fast, or they're playing on an axis where they're trying to hurt the Brainstorm decks. In Historic, we don't have those options. Like I said, the mono red deck in Historic, this is laughable against the blue-red. Not even the Jeskai control decks, right? Because the Jeskai control decks get Lightning Helix, which helps them survive, right? By being able to, like, blast your Soulscar Mage and gain 3 life. It's huge against the mono red deck. But even if they're just playing blue-red, being able to Iteration and Brainstorm into ways to just survive, like Anger of the Gods, kill all your stuff, then they're gonna... Like, let's take... I closed the lists, didn't I? Oh, foolish boy. But they can hit their... Oh, it's only 1 Anger of the Gods. That's how confident... what is this, Matthias? Yeah, Matthias Leverato. It's a pro player. I'm pretty sure it was in the MPL. Matthias played 1 Anger of the Gods in the main and 2 more in the board because he was so confident that he would just hit this all the time with his 4 Brainstorms and his 4... where are they? He didn't play Iteration? That seems like a mistake. That's surprising. I guess because it doesn't draw cards. But even Prismari Command, which is super strong because it's making the treasure to turn on the combo of Indomitable Creativity. Well, the combo, right? It lets you draw 2, discard 2. So you're still just making part of your combo and filtering through cards. And then you have the random ability to kill treasures, which is awesome, or just deal 2 damage and kill random things. Like this card, I was really high on it before, but now it's actually like absurd. It's just better than Kolaghan's Command in a lot of ways. It turns out making people discard a card at instant speed isn't as good as just winning the game. Who would have thought? And then, so that's like the problem with these control combo builds, with Jeskai control and these blue-red combo decks. With Phoenix, the problem is that number 1, it's a 1 mana thing that helps turn on their Phoenixes, and number 2, it digs them into the stuff they need. They can set up Brainstorm to be able to Faithless Looting and discard their Phoenixes. It's just good to power up Sprite Dragon randomly. Like, Sprite Dragon looked like a joke to me when I first saw these builds, and the more I've played against this deck, the more I realize that I'm actually more scared of Sprite Dragon than I am of Arclight Phoenix, by a lot. Because Phoenix, you can kill. Like, sometimes, yeah, there's 3 of them in the graveyard, and you just get overrun by these flying flaming birds and whatever, it happens. But sometimes, they play 2 Sprite Dragons, and on turn 5, they're like a 5/5 and a 4/4, and you're just fucking dead. You can't do anything. Like, you can't burn them out, you can't deal 3 damage to them, you can't stomp them with a Bone Crusher Giant. And they're hasty, so they're just beating the living hell out of you. Stormwing Entity is... it's okay, but it's just worse than this thing. It's like a backup. The Ox, not everybody plays the Ox, it's okay. Crackling Drake, not everybody plays it. It's decent. But Brainstorm is adding so much consistency and quality to the average hand of any blue deck that plays it that, like, there's no reason... Like, I want to play Jund Sacrifice because I love this deck, but it's just not good enough. These cards are, like, old Modern. These are pre-Mystical Archives Modern. Or, not Modern, sorry. Historic. This was the best deck. Everybody remembers. This deck was insane, and now it's, like, okay. You'll randomly just lose to the Locust God running you over, or the control deck just annihilating you. So anyway, coming out, I'm saying it now today on June 21st, 2021, Brainstorm needs to go. And I don't want them to suspend it because I know a lot of people say, well, they should just suspend it until some other things come out. But what you have to realize is that the next Historic Anthology, right, Historic Anthology 6 is probably already locked as a file. The next 3 standard sets are locked for sure. Like, the 2 Innistrad sets are locked up. Werewolves and Vampires. Whatever set's coming after that, I don't know what it is. That file, if it's not already locked, it's so far into development that they can't just add cards and they can't just change cards to help Historic. And even if they did, that set's not coming out until next spring, right? Because I know the second Innistrad set comes out in November, so then it wouldn't be until like February or March that the next set comes out, so it's not good enough. So if they suspend Brainstorm, it's like banning it, but they don't give everybody their 4 rare wildcards back. So just ban it. Give us our wildcards. Let us do something else with our time. And then later, once they've powered up the other side of Historic, once we have creatures and mid-range decks that don't just fold to Brainstorm, then we can put Brainstorm back in the format, and it'll be great. I think, like... I saw somebody who had typed up like a mock banned announcement that was just talking about how the Mystical Archives in Historic were a fun experiment, but it's time to just ban all of the cards. And at first I really hated it, and now the more I think about it, it's fine. There's a few cards I'd be sad to see go. Like, I think Lightning Helix is good for the format. I don't know, I'd have to look at it. There's other cards in there that I think are pretty good for the format, but overall, just get rid of it. Like, Inquisition is fine, but if we have to lose Inquisition in order to lose Brainstorm, I'm fine with it. This hand sucks, right? We're on the draw, though, so I guess we can keep it. We ship the gate. No, we ship the plains. No, we ship the island. 3rd time's a charm. So we'll see. We'll see if Brainstorm gets banned. I think it will. But last time I made a called shot about a ban card, Reddit hated me for it, so we'll keep this one to ourselves. Just the Historical Society will know about this one. And then we can go on Reddit after and post it in retrospect. Oh, look, somebody's playing green-red, which is just, like, not good enough anymore. Well, let's see how this goes. If our opponent has another stomp, we're screwed. Otherwise, we win the game. Okay. We'll get Luris back. I'm just going to cast it. What are the odds they have a third Bone Crusher Giant? It's 100%, right? Oh, it actually doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. But they have to have it right now. Coco, sure. Sure. Wow. There it is. We're going to take a lot of damage here. But then I'm pretty sure we're just... Well, if they attack us, we don't die. And then we'll just win the game, so I don't think they can attack us. Oh, that thing has haste, I guess. Yep. Turns them all sideways. 11, 12, 13 damage. So can we afford to go to 4? I think we do, right? Don't we block here? Block this thing, we block this thing. Make Luris invincible, we gain 3 life. This is fine, right? Because now we get to... let's see. Let's see. Yeah, we're good. We're in good shape. Kyriab on here. Power it up. Blue side, I guess. Staggering Insight on here. Take the card. Yeah, we won this game. Gain 3 more, go to 13. Our opponent can't really attack us. Doesn't matter if Luris dies now. We could good game them. Bad manners, but let's not. Like, we don't even die to Embercleave here. Yep. Let's see. We'll play SRAM. We'll play Kyriab on the kitty cat. Draw some cards. It's a Lord of Lands. Let's just do this. Doink. Doink. Play this. Play this. That's a Jeej, buddy. End the turn. Now we'll BN them. It's just no way we lose this. Even Embercleave doesn't get you there. Yeah, the green-red deck used to be tier 1, and now it's kind of just unplayable. Let's see. Pro-red. Do we want Cerulean Drake at all? I don't think we do. Well, do we want it more than Vanguard? Yeah, probably. Probably. Yeah, we do. Do we want deck and stone? Probably not. Like, there's nothing I want to take out. We're just pretty good against Gruul. Like, as long as they don't get to stomp our 0-2 core spirit dancer, like, they can't really do anything to us. This matchup's always been pretty easy. There goes my opponent on his little motorcycle. My opponent. There goes my neighbor. Feels like my opponent sometimes. There goes my neighbor on his little motorcycle. Alright, we're on the draw here. And let's see. Earlier today, yeah, I played a really cool mirror match against blue-white. I won the roll. So, game 1 basically came down to me going first. And, like, we had big back and forth. So our plays almost mirrored each other. It's like turn 1 dog, turn 2 spirit dancer, turn 3 staggering insight was the play for both of us. This hand is insane. Tapid. And then, yeah, if, like, from there on, I just, like, won by having the advantage of the initiative. Game 2, my sideboard was so good. He played a SRAM turn 2, and I Heliod's Punishment, and then it was just over. Boink. There we go. Pro Red. Professional Red. Trample, sadly. I will still block. Gain a life, at least. Gain a life, save a life. Cloth Ice. Sure. I don't know why people bring that in against me. It's not very good. Let's go Kiriob. All that glitters. Get in there, draw a card. Not the one I was hoping for. So hopefully we can Spell Pierce and Embercleave. That's what I want to see. We might be able to just kill them with this Drake. It's going to be a 6/6 next turn. Oh, this would have been a good Spell Pierce too. Ooh, but that's a nice setup. So we take 7, go to 10. I might have to sit back and block. Oh, that's good too. That's pretty good too. It's got Vigilance. Yeah, I'll take those. Ah. Oh. End the turn, we don't die to Embercleave, and we're good to go. It's got Pro Red, you can't crasher it. No. Good game. And just like that, Spell Pierce ruined your life. Sure. Damn, we died. Oh wait, no, he had to tap the Llanowar Elves. I thought the Elves was attacking. Huh. Whew. We almost got pooped on. Nice. Hey, we're back to rank 3 in tier 3 in Platinum. In this ugly format because I refuse to play Phoenix. I don't want to craft Phoenix because if they ban just Brainstorm, Phoenix is still playable, I think. It's like I care about having like my 4th approach of the Second Sun. Come on, Arena. Be a buddy. My 3rd approach of the Second Sun. No one cares. No one cares. So if they ban just Brainstorm, Phoenix is still playable. If they ban also Faithless Looting, or Expressive Iteration, or just take the Mystical Archives out completely, Phoenix is no longer playable, and I don't want to spend all of those wild cards building... Do we even have a Phoenix list up here? We don't. But it's a lot. I need 4 Mythics on the Phoenixes. I need to burn them on Stormwing entities and just it's precarious. I don't want to spend our limited wildcards and then get refunded wildcards that I'm going to be refunded anyway, because I already have the lootings and the brainstorms. Like, if we get 8 rare wildcards thrown our way, 23 rares, that'd be huge. We could build whatever the next best deck is, or we can just play John Sacrifice some more. But whatever. Let me know in the comments, everybody. What do you think is going to happen with this situation? Do you think Brainstorm's gone? Do you think Faithless Looting's gone? Do you think Expressive Iteration is gone? Do you think the whole Mystical Archives is gone? Do you think that Wizards is just going to sit around and let things shake out a little longer? I think those days are done. I think Outtro was the last time that they're going to let a deck just sit and be too good in Historic. I think from now on, they're just going to take action. Time Warp is gone. And I think they're going to do that again. Even though people didn't like it, Time Warp just changed the way the combo decks were built. And now we're seeing the root of the problem rather than Time Warp being the issue. I'll be curious to see if they unban Time Warp. That would be kind of neat. If they just get rid of like Brainstorm and or Iteration and then say, here, you can have Time Warp again. Have fun. Whatever, we'll see. I'm a little bit excited. We're on Monday, so we've got all week to kind of hang out together and see what happens. Get at least one game in on the ladder on video. It's nice, so thanks everybody for hanging out. As always, I've been PB the Fox with the Ravnica Historical Society. You've all been awesome, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone.